Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another Football Manager 2021 experiment video. And in this video, you've seen the title, you know what it is. What if all Premier League players had a potential of 200? Now, if you want me to prove to you, I've actually bought the in-game editor just so I can prove that every player has a potential of 200. So, we're having a look at Kevin De Bruyne. Let's have a look at his player attributes. Potential, 200. And if we have a look at Harvey Neville, son of Phil Neville. His potential in game's not great, but this time around, it's 200. And finally, even the already, of course, world-class Christian Benteke. Potential, 200. So what we're going to do is see what effect this has on some of the older players. They've got the potential to get even better. So will they? And the younger players that perhaps wouldn't have been as good, how good can they get? How big are these squads going to get with world-class players? Are they going to sell? Are they going to use them? Let's find out. We're going to do the same as what we did in the last experiment video, if you were here for that. We're going to go forward 5 years at a time and see what progressions are made. Quickly, I'm going to advertise my Twitch. I'm doing a kind of like a full, it's called the Full Continental. We go around all the continents, winning league titles, Champions League, and international continental competitions, as well as the World Cup. Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, but the link's in the description, so go check that out if you're interested. But for now, let's go 5 years into the future. Okay, so I changed my mind. We haven't gone 5 years into the future. And the only reason for that is some of the older players would have likely retired. And I kind of wanted to see how they've changed with the 200 potential. So we've only gone 3 years into the future. We're going to have a look at some of the younger players, some of the older ones, and see what change that's made to the Premier League. So the first thing that I've noticed is the top scorers. So we've got two very young players. I mean, not so much anymore. I mean, Fabio Silva, still 20 years old. 55 million value. Let's have a look at his current abilities. 170, obviously potential still 200. I think that can fluctuate. So some people might not still have 200 potential. It might drop down depending on the clubs that they're at and the facilities that they've got. But at the moment, Fabio Silva is looking like a very, very good player. Another one of the top goal scorers, Ryan Brewster. I think it's very 50-50 how he goes in saves. Again, 152 current ability, still got that 200 potential. He's not as good as Fabio Silva, but he's still looking like a very tidy player. And I mean, again, we're going for another one of the top goal scorers. It's slightly older, but wow. I mean, 79 million value. And then if we go and have a look at his current ability, 184. Still got that room to grow to 200. Is it too late for him though? Possibly. So I'm just going to have a quick look through some of the outs. As you can see, I'm currently on the Premier League holders, Manchester United's ins and outs. I'm going to have a quick look through the players that clubs have sold and see what difference they've been making to other clubs. Because you see, so we'll just go straight for Timothy Fosu-Mensah. He's obviously got the 200 potential. I mean, he's at 151 now, still got 200 potential, valued at 28.5 million. He's on loan at Milan and joining permanently. I don't suppose we can see how much that's for, can we? Doesn't look like we can right now. But, I mean, Fosu-Mensah, a player who typically in-game isn't normally amazing, is getting himself a big move to the Serie A, where I think he's probably going to progress even further, get the game time, and possibly become a really good player. So I think I found one. Taif Chong, formerly I'd say a wonder kid of the game, not so much anymore. He's gone out on loan a couple of times. He obviously had his real life loan to Werder Bremen, had a loan at Borussia Dortmund, and then moved to Inter Milan for 41 million. And he looks really good. I mean, if we have a look at his current abilities, 171, he's only, 23 years old. He's still got room to improve. He could definitely, probably not reach the 200, but I tell you what, he could probably get close. So I'm taking a look at some of the released players, and I can't help but notice that, unsurprisingly, really, it's only really the older players that are getting released. You know, you got your Sergio Aguero's 35 years old, McGoldrick 35, Seri 31. There's not many. I mean, there's a couple. So you got Kennedy, who was released this season at 27. I mean, is unlikely to improve more from what he is now. And then if we say we've got Rafa Mir, he's probably one of the younger ones who's been released, and he's now at Derby. He's still got that 200 potential, 128 current ability, so he can definitely get better. But I don't know. Is 3 years long enough? It seems at the current time, maybe 3 years isn't enough to see some of the younger players really explode and see their potential. So I think what we're going to go and do is we're going to go and simulate another 3 years into the future and see what happens next. Okay, so stop 1 second. We're not going forward quite yet. I've just decided that I was going to have a look at the current ability of some. I tell you what, whilst I'm at it, I'm going to insert another column for potential ability, just so that we can see the ones that have still got that. So obviously players like Frankie de Jong at the bottom here didn't start in the Premier League, so doesn't have 200 potential. Still has a very good potential of 183, but it's not 200. I thought I'd have a look, though, at some of the highest current ability players in the league. And the furthest is Trent Alexander-Arnold at 24 years old, has a current ability of 195. Only 5 more, and he's maxed his potential. So, I mean, he looks like he's, well, insane. And the fact that he's only worth 65 million, I guess it's just because he's a right back. If he was a right winger or a striker, he'd be worth so much more. Possibly 215k. I mean, that's definitely got nothing to do with the value. But what I've noticed that England have won a World Cup, so I think this is having an effect. You know, you got Dele Alli in there, who's obviously been affected by this 200 potential, 170. Mason Greenwood, obviously, I mean, 82 million is Mason Greenwood's value. And where's he at? 189. We probably would have seen him in a sec once we had a look. 21 years old. Mason Greenwood is one to keep an eye on, because he's going to be good in the game regardless of whether he's got 200 potential or not. But with the 200 potential, he's going to be very, very good. And then we'll take a quick look at Jack Grealish. He's moved to Liverpool, also in the England squad. 169 current ability.
Nice.
27 years old. He's got room for improvement. Let's have a quick look at the England squad as a whole and see if we can get these current abilities in there so that we can just have a look. Are the people with the high potential getting selected for England? I should imagine they probably are. There's a couple in here. Jadon Sancho obviously starts outside of the Premier League, so he doesn't have it. But if you look at everyone else, 200 potential. Jadon Sancho is the only one. I mean, the lowest current ability we have is 148, which is Dean Henderson, and we all know he can turn out to be a really good player. But even John Stones in there with 155. Jordan Pickford, 160. Trying to see if there's anyone that's really standing out. Anyone that I wouldn't expect to be so high. I mean, Tomori's doing quite well. 25 years old. He might be able to get a bit further. Possibly not. Brandon Williams. What was that? 176? Yep. Very, very good. Mason Mount's doing well. 181. I mean, we've completely gone off track as to where we were. 181 again, Phil Foden. I mean, Reece James was one of the high ones as well. What was his? 184. Raheem Sterling, 188. I mean, this England squad is ridiculous. I'm not surprised that they've won a World Cup. But looking back at the Premier League as a whole, we've always got Kevin De Bruyne on 194. Only just one behind Trent. I mean, it's ridiculous. Marcus Rashford. I think that was 191, was it? It was. Again, another really good player. This is insane. I mean, I feel like this would be quite a fun database to play on, But then at the same time, it could possibly get very boring because it's just so easy, I think. But I mean, now we're scrolling down. I think a lot of the players that are really good, you'd expect to. Nothing really is standing out to me. Lamptey's looking like he's doing all right. He could probably do a bit better, but he's only 22 years old. Definitely got room for improvement. McAllister, he looks very good. Very, very good. He's been capped by Argentina, which I'm not sure if he had at the start of the game. I mean, I said we were going forward, and I've not done it. I'm just continuing to look more because this database is just full of surprises. I mean, Erling Haaland, as if he's in the Premier League and he's not even one of the best players. I mean, he is one of the best players, but he's not the standout players by any means. When you look at some of these around, I mean, he's better than Anthony Martial, who obviously still has room for improvement. But no, I mean, I think we've looked enough. We'll probably do this again. I'm noticing Wesley Fofana looked insane, 60 million. We'll make sure that we do exactly this again in 3 years' time so that we can see how their current abilities have gone up. See if any potential abilities have dropped down. I don't expect that they will. I don't know. I don't think it's locked. I think it can change. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like it is. So yeah, let's head another 3 years. This time we're actually going to do it into the future. But as I think you probably already knew, that's going to be the next video. I really hope you have enjoyed this one. I'll be honest, I recorded the first part of this video probably about a week before recording the second part. And I don't know why I waited so long, because jumping back into it now and having a look at it's really interesting seeing everything that's happening. I'm really excited to get even further forward. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. As I said earlier on in the video, my Twitch is down in the description, so if you want to check that out, please do. I should be live at least 3-4 times a week. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you're looking forward to the next part, and until next time, I'll see you later.